Hey guys, we just got back from Fort Lauderdale and we have another boat tour for you.
So we just got done touring the Xquisite X5 and it definitely lives up to the name.
Just a reminder, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It really helps us a lot.
So without further ado, here's the tour.
Hi, I'm Stephen Cockcroft from Catamaran Guru. We're going to have a look at an Xquisite. It's a 2016 model. She's an X5, 3-cabin. These boats have phenomenal systems and are highly sought after cruising yachts. Learning the lines is going to take us for a tour. Please enjoy.
Thoughts so far, Randy?
This is quite the luxurious boat. We did do a quick little walkthrough just to kind of peek at some things, but we just glanced over. There's so much to look at.
I'm going to give you a quick pan of the davits and the cockpit, but it is a huge covered protected area. It's really, really nice. We're going to come back to the cockpit because we always go forward first.
All right.
You can grab this right here and forward and you're up.
Yeah, the handrails along the boat and the lifelines being solid stainless is such a nice feature, and they're pretty high too. I'm 5'6½"-ish, so they're pretty tall. We have the helm station. Do we want to do that now or do we want to do that with the cockpit?
We'll do that with the cockpit, but the helm station looks very, very nice. We'll come back to that.
This is nice for sideboarding. You can let down this ladder here.
These side decks are super wide.
Yes.
Lots of room to walk, lots of handholds.
If you want to strap like stand-up paddle boards or something to the side here, you've got plenty of room.
Yeah, I love these solid stainless lifelines. It's going to add a bit of weight, but there's a lot of safety to that.
Yes. On these side decks, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hatches. I think that one's a locker though, so 4 hatches, so some good ventilation there. So this one is a locker, if we want to take a look in there.
Take a look at that.
So you've got your wastewater tank down in there, some wet storage. I'm not sure what's in that front compartment.
That's going to be some more storage and maybe a crash bulkhead. Nice big forward locker on the port side. I'm going to give you a nice pan of the foredeck here. Very, very large foredeck.
You have 2 little trampolines up here. Plenty of space for like putting out some cushions and seating up here. This is really neat, how the lines are going down into the deck or below the deck. I'm not really sure exactly what's happening, but.
So the lines are basically hidden, so you can't trip on them. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, they're coming out. Here they are. The line system is really neat. I'm watching, so those lines come out up here, and then all of the lines from the main and mast are going back under here, and I imagine they're all being fed to the cockpit, so I'm kind of intrigued when we get over there what that's going to look like.
We've got dual furlers for 2 head sails. Perfect for cruising.
There seems to be a lot of storage up front here on the deck, but they're all pretty much locked, so we can't really show you how deep those are or anything.
It seemed like the anchor locker was the only one that wasn't locked. So there you have your rode, chain. It's very deep. So I imagine that these lockers are deep as well. There's a windlass with a controller. And there's those lines, those furling lines that we're running below deck. Very, very cool. So the staysail is on a self-tacker. What's up?
I have a question about this. I see something that's crossing over the self-tacking system.
So this looks to be a removable lightning ground. That probably just goes directly down into the water, and yep, I can kind of pull it out. So I imagine when you're sailing, you can have that out, and then you could be using your self-tailer or if you get into a storm, you can have the mast be grounded. And right now the boat's in storage mode, so the ground's down in the water. I'm gonna go ahead and walk up there to the coach roof and do a little more filming. There's that big head sail. So there's the Traveler there. Tons of solar here. Over here we've got GPS, satellite, and then the mast. As you can see, all of these lines go down under the coach roof and go back to the cockpit, which is really, really crazy. We've got a huge, huge mainsail with a stack pack and lazy jacks. Looking up the rig, we've got the radar on the spreader there.
You also have a dedicated system for rain catching here.
Integrated with the boat to catch rain, that's awesome.
Now this hole is a different layout than the other side, so you'll notice that the storage locker is not here on this side.
All right, Randy, I think we've pretty much seen everything we can on the foredeck.
All right.
Let's go back.
Heading back, you do have the 4 opening hatches again, as well as a side ladder on this side as well. Handrails as you walk back, and then you can either go into the cockpit or down on the back deck. You've got a nice wide sugar scoop.
Integrated dinghy davits. Put a nice big dinghy on the back there.
We've got 2 rod holders on each side, I noticed. This is kind of cool. This seat back here is adjustable, so you can lay it completely flat or really stand it up. So I just thought that was a neat feature.
So I believe the engine compartments are accessible from right here. So not quite on the sugar scoop, but definitely pretty far aft and not in the bedrooms. So the door is on gas struts, and all I can say is, wow. Wow. Very, very, very large engine compartment. All right, so I'm going to kind of demonstrate, how you would actually get into this engine compartment, because it's very big and a lot of access. And there's a platform right here you can stand on. And yeah, I mean, this is more than enough room to be able to come down here and work on the engine. This is awesome. If I was going to have a diesel engine, this is how I'd want it set up. So there's that large lounging area in the aft of the boat right there. What do you think of that, Ren?
That's very nice.
I think there's some storage under here too. Oh yeah. Lots of good storage underneath. There's another compartment in there.
And then into the cockpit. This table, I think, is really beautiful, for lack of a better word.
It's got your world map on it, which is...
Yeah, I think it's very cool. So you've got, obviously, a nice seating area on this side. You've got another little seating area over here. When we go inside, you'll see that you can really make these 2 spaces kind of like one, which is nice. And then obviously you have your helm station up here.
Before we go and take a look at the helm, I'm going to go and see about storage underneath these bench seats. All right, so there's also storage, it looks like, under all these bench seats. You've got what looks to be an outdoor refrigerator. Yep. Got your outdoor refrigerator. And a sink. And then just like on the other side, we've got lots of storage all underneath these seats. This is a very, very comfortable cockpit that I'd want to spend a lot of time in, which if you're crossing an ocean in this boat, you will definitely be spending a lot of time here. Another place you might be spending a lot of time is
up here. Yeah, this helm station is really nice. Right now I've got a nice breeze too. It's coming through this way and exiting out the back. But the enclosure is a very nice feature, and I'm sure there's probably a way you could extend it if you were in like northern climates or something where you'd want to be protected from cold and wind.
Speaking of enclosures, there is an enclosure for the cockpit that's rolled up in the recess of the coach roof, which is just awesome. I'm going to join Randy up here at the helm station. Let's get a good view. Nice 360 degree view, fully protected with canvas. What did you think about being out in the middle of the ocean on this boat right here?
This is nice. I mean, we already talked about how we saw the lines were obviously heading back to the cockpit, but specifically they headed back to the helm station. So you can see where the lines come out and they're all organized and tuck away down under the actual wheel. And it looks like you've got foot controls for electric.
This big electric winch right there.
Yeah, this huge electric winch and that one over there too.
So all of the sailing can be done from right here at the helm station by one person, it looks like. And there's your instruments, throttle controls. Just one more quick view. Just imagine that we're the ocean instead of Fort Lauderdale. So you've got your engine tachometers here.
Nice
and then
holder.
a nice cup holder that's
It's suctioned on.
that's an option right there.
As I was getting down, I also noticed the life raft tucked under here. So there is a life raft on this vessel, which is always important in our mind, and you've got your throwable as well.
Yeah, nice accessible position right there.
Yeah.
Easy to get to in an emergency.
Shall we head inside?
Let's do it. We've got air conditioning on. So I'm gonna walk in first real quick, and then I'm gonna give you a nice pan of the Saloon. Feels great in here. It also looks great in here. Nice forward-facing nav station. Very, very large galley up.
We're gonna close this back up to enjoy the AC, but I did want to show, I said this could kind of become like one living area. So the door goes pretty much completely back, and you can even take this shorter window and put it off to the port side. But we're gonna close it up since the AC's on. So I absolutely love this galley. It's got an island, which you don't typically see in a boat galley. You have a range and oven, you have your double sink, tons of storage all around here, and plenty of light, open windows. You don't feel completely excluded from what's going on in the cockpit, and you can see pretty much all the way around you except for this little area here. So it's very awesome.
Trash right there. Looks like a fire extinguisher right here.
Yes.
Some more storage. Wow. This is, every little ounce of this boat seems to be utilized, because look at this.
Holy cow. I did not expect it to pull out that far.
You want to talk about being able to use every ounce of space. That's pretty crazy. And you can't open it like that unless you put two hands on it and pull. So it's, you know, if not, then you can just open up the individual drawers. It's just really, really cool. Another big drawer under the sink. I mean, just so much storage. Every ounce of space has been utilized on this boat.
And the galley actually extends over on the starboard side. You have your refrigeration and freezers. So you've got this top fridge and then two freezer drawers.
There's so much cold storage on this boat.
Yes. And they're taking their fire safety seriously. There's
Lots of
another fire extinguisher over here. So this is another interesting little storage compartment.
So let's see what's in there.
Just in case you're still addicted to your TV when you're out sailing.
In case you want to watch all those YouTube sailing channels
Yes.
while you're sailing. Be really meta.
All right, so over here you have your seating area with a little coffee table, plenty of room for, what, at least like 6 people up here. And then a nav station that's, I'm sure Jordan's going to want to talk about.
So we've got a large forward-facing nav station. Again, just there's storage everywhere. So much storage right there. There's probably storage underneath
Oh, I'm sure.
that as well. But this is a large, very large forward-facing nav station that would also double if this were my boat, as a desk for work, and it is just great. Everything here that you need, and look at that view. Look at that view.
I was noticing all of the shades on these windows because they are big windows, and a lot of times you're going to want the sun just to not be beating into your boat. But that made me notice that the forward port lights aren't opening.
Oh yeah.
So you do have 3 opening hatches on the ceiling to get some ventilation in, but it is really nice to have forward hatches that open.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see an opening hatch here and here. But I do really like these shades.
Yes. Super nice.
I mean, that's a great feature. All of these windows have them too. So for privacy and for coolness, and then even the overheads have shades as well.
Speaking of hatches, we noticed an unusual placement for the emergency hatch. Should your boat capsize, it's right here in the center of the main saloon.
That is different than a lot of catamarans that we've seen for sure. It's kind of cool too. It's another world right there.
Yeah, they made it decorative. I like it. We're going to do the starboard side tour first, which is actually the owner's side. So you actually step down quite a bit, which makes me think the bridge deck clearance must be pretty good.
Yeah, that's a lot of steps right there.
So coming back into your master suite, you have a vanity area, you have a seating area, and tons of storage for your folded goods or shoes.
I mean, this is just a large
Yes.
owner's suite.
Now, it's not an island berth, but they did build in some steps for you to get up into the berth, which is nice.
Steps. I would have thought there'd be an island berth in a boat this size. Tons more storage on the side there.
And you do have those opening ports or opening hatches above you, both here and in the vanity area, so you can get some flow, and there's a fan mounted on the wall towards the berth, so that's good. Oh, even these have shades. They're not like full windows, but you would still definitely want that.
Yeah. The shades are nice. I definitely think those are essential.
Yes, I would agree.
And then there's that ventilation. I would like to see some side ventilation in here, but it doesn't look like any of these open.
Little detail, but I always like when you can have people on your boat and still get privacy, so there's a little sliding door built in here to totally section off this hole. Now this is just a massive amount of storage right here.
Yeah, this is basically a walk-in closet right here. And then the wood is interesting. Oh, there's your hanging lockers. The wood is different. I like it. It's really thick. Seems very, very durable. Has an interesting texture to it. And then we've got the dark wood floors for contrast. I like the way it looks.
Yeah, the wood contrast is interesting. You've got 3 tones going on in the head here. You've got the dark floor, the light cabinetry, and then the seat is like a medium tone wood.
Yeah.
So kind of a mix there.
But look at how big this head is.
This head is very nice. So you've got an electric toilet. You have a dual sink, but sharing is caring. You've got one faucet that you share between the two. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then a massive shower here, standing separate shower.
And then I want to see what's behind here.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Ooh.
Oh.
Got a washer dryer, and then the crash bulkhead up forward. Really cool.
That's a really good placement for the washer, actually.
Yeah. It looks like the other holding tank is right there as well, behind the washer.
I wasn't even paying attention to the fact the mirror has tons of storage behind it as well, so that's awesome.
Yeah. This is definitely a very luxurious boat.
Yes.
And it
I
better
mean,
be.
this is better than a lot of apartments on just this one hole. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very luxurious. So, continuing their excessive amounts of storage. No, not excessive. You definitely want a ton of storage when you have a boat. All of the steps even have storage built into them. That is one thing to note, is even though they obviously put care and focus on luxury and comfort, they also focus on function, because everything seems very functional as well. All right, so coming down on the port side now.
We've got a bird, and then looking aft.
And we have a full head with a separate standing shower.
So to starboard, we're looking to starboard in the port hull. Full head, separate shower, kind of encompassed in this guest suite.
Yeah, so if someone's still in bed and someone's showering, you can kind of view them.
I mean, if you're sharing the same bed, I think that might be okay.
Yeah, that'll be good. All right, so you've got tons of storage yet again. Another fire extinguisher, safety.
So this side is similar to the other side, just instead of insane amounts of storage right here, there's a head.
Yes.
Let's go aft.
Moving forward, not aft.
Yeah, forward.
I was like, wait, I'm confused.
We're getting lost.
Moving forward, you basically have a mirror of that side, so you have another full head and standing shower with a berth.
There's some more storage down there. Another full head, separate shower. There's me in the mirror. Storage under the berth, and then a slightly smaller berth.
Oh, because
forward.
of the angle. Yeah.
Yep. But more storage up there again. Probably that goes
Yes.
kind of over the bridge deck a little.
Oh, I was like, what's this pull tab?
Access panels, and that looks very cleanly wired, as it should.
Yes.
Very nice. And there's one of those cabinets open, so they're pretty deep as well. Alrighty guys, so it is time for that full interior below deck walkthrough. Let's get going. So I'm looking at the berth in the port side forward section of the boat. Got some storage right there. Turn it aft. There is head and shower number 1. Got your walkway with some storage right there to port. There's that head again. Turn it aft. Got another head to port and separate shower again. And there's your aft double berth in the aft port section of the hull, turning back around. There you can kind of see the full length, the interior of the hull right here. Going forward, turning starboard, and as you can see, the stairs go up pretty high. I mean, almost as high as my head. So I imagine the bridge deck clearance is pretty good on this boat.
Also, your head clearance, I noticed as you came up those stairs, they made a nice cutout for it.
Got some good head clearance right there, and then throughout the inside of the boat, I'm 5'11", and I definitely have more than enough room. There's your forward-facing nav station. The best possible position for one in a catamaran, in my opinion. You got your main settee area in the main saloon. Looking aft, we've got the giant galley. Basically, the entire aft section of the saloon is a galley. Going back down. Going down into the starboard hull. Looking aft, we've got a little seating area. Got a big old vanity with some storage. Got your main berth right here. Turning forward, and I am kind of sitting on the berth, just giving you guys an idea of how large this owner's section of the hull is. This is definitely like luxury New York condo living. Got your basically walk-in closet right here. Looking forward. Then you've got your very large full head and separate shower And that's it, guys. That is this very luxurious boat. Just real quick, guys, this is the other port side engine compartment. I did not go down here, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick look. Basically the same. Very nice.
So what'd you think of this one, Ray?
You're right. It definitely lives up to its name. It was a very exquisite boat. I would definitely say my favorite features of the boat were the helm station and the way they ran. I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of favorites, but the way they ran the lines. On the exterior, the helm station and the way they ran the lines.
Okay, those were pretty good features.
Yes.
To be honest, like as far as exterior wise goes, I think it was designed really, really well. There's not a heck of a lot that I would change. I mean, some people might not necessarily like the styling, but honestly, I think it's something that would grow on me. Mm-hmm. It's like a spaceship, and it's really cool. So I think, you know, at first it's kind of like, whoa, but it's something that I think, you know, that the more I get used to it, the more it'll like, you know, whatever. But I do like the styling. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Interior wise, it had a great layout. The galley was amazing. I honestly like the placement of that escape hatch. I would want to look into like engineering how that works being in the bridge deck like that. But I think that's a smart idea. I'm just surprised we had never seen anything like that.
Well, there's a reason it's a circle, because circles are very strong.
That's true.
So I imagine that's why. But I also imagine there's some reinforcement in that bridge deck because of it. This is a very heavy boat. Mm-hmm. And it comes in at around 40,000 pounds displacement. So it is definitely a very heavily built catamaran. So I wouldn't doubt that there's a lot of reinforcement there in that bridge deck. So the interior layout, I think, was designed very well. It had a forward-facing nav station, a large galley up, a large inner settee. That main saloon went right out into the cockpit, which was again designed really, really well. And I mean, as far as the actual layout of a 50-foot catamaran on the inside, I don't know that I'd change a thing.
Right. The accommodations are so nice. Having each berth also have its own individual head that's like a full size with shower, everything was really a great feature, I think.
And then the owner's hull was just massive. You know, it just massive amounts of storage, massive amounts of room, lots of headroom throughout. It's a big, luxurious boat.
Yes. It's everything you could ever need, for sure. And more.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not, it's everything you could ever need and want. And I mean, this boat is basically built for someone that doesn't want to give up basically any creature comforts to go sailing. It has everything that you could ever want or need. And it's about as comfortable as living in a luxurious New York apartment, probably, you know?
Coming from someone who's never been to New York City, I'm just going to put that out there.
It's what I would imagine living in a luxurious New York apartment would be like.
Yeah, that would be life of luxury in New York City, because those apartments are small. This is not small.
I really did like the interior woodwork, how they went with the multiple tones. Personally, I would probably only go with two, the light and the dark tone. I did notice there was a mid-tone in different areas. I think it was like a mid-tone teak. As far as the interior goes, that's like a nitpick, you know, that's like an interior styling thing. I think it looked really great. And the use of space, so, you know, just that they ended up using every single little thing, and they had cool design ways to get into the back of the cabinets with that massive drawer in the galley. It's just, it's designed extremely well.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot, where there's normally hidden areas on boats that you can't access. It's like, that would be great for storage. And they're like, okay, let's get you there somehow.
Or if you can access them, they're really hard to get to.
Right,
you know?
Absolutely.
So the positives, obviously, it's an extremely luxurious, high-tech blue water cruiser. The negatives are that it is not a performance cruiser. So it's extremely heavy in relation to even the boats of its size. So that means it's not necessarily going to sail the fastest. It's not necessarily going to point the best. Yeah. It's basically a condo on the water, but it's a big, safe, heavy condo with 2 big diesels.
Yeah, and every piece of equipment you could need, for sure.
Yeah, it's something that you could be comfortable crossing an ocean in, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it's built for someone who wants to cruise as comfortably as possible.
It's not necessarily our personal taste, not only because we don't have $1 million to spend on this boat, but also the fact that if we're gonna go catamaran, we want to go the route of a more performance-oriented cruiser, so that we can really take advantage of having a lightweight, fast boat and just, squeeze out every ounce of performance that we possibly can. I think that's part of the fun of owning a catamaran.
But we're also much more minimalistic than a lot of people. So if you struggle with getting rid of tons of stuff and keeping the weight down on the boat, it wouldn't matter as much on a boat this size.
So going back to this boat, is there anything else you'd like to add that are positive or negative?
We didn't really talk about the cockpit in this little end cap, but the cockpit layout was really nice. I liked that bench in the back. I know that was something we talked about on other boats, that it's nice to be able to lay down when you're sailing. That bench was really cool.
Extremely comfortable cockpit.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that table's cool too.
I guess the one negative about the exterior design that I can come up with is that there's that arch that, and when you go forward, there's not a heck of a lot of headroom. You actually have to duck underneath it.
I was like just okay getting through there.
Right. So if you're over 5'6", then it's too low for you.
You're gonna need a duck.
Yeah. But that's not a huge deal. I mean, everything else is great. We didn't get to look in the most of the forward lockers. But the amount of storage on this boat is just insane. So I imagine those lockers are pretty big and deep. They seemed like they'd be deep because we did open up the anchor locker, so it seemed like they went down a couple feet. So lots of storage for extra sails and wet toys and all different things. I mean, it's $1 million boat. What are you going to expect? You should expect a great boat, and it is a great boat.
The asking price and contact information for the broker will be in the video description below. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to follow along with our journey, and ring the bell if you want to know each and every time we upload a video.
See you guys.
Bye.
I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go.